to another exciting and yummalicious episode of Let's Bake with Palak. I am Lakshmi, and here with me is Palak, who's going to show us two yummy dishes today. One of them is going to be tres leches cake, and the other one is going to be pineapple casserole. So note down and get ready to bake.
Hi, how are you? So today what we are baking is, I would say, assembling is tres leches cake.
Okay.
You can create or you can bake or you can make your vanilla sponge with any of the recipe you are using, whether it's with egg, without egg, gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free, however you are using it, just go ahead and do it. You can also use box recipe or update your box recipe, and you can do that. In case if you are using box, you can use one box.
One package.
One package.
Bake it according to the package instructions and get ready.
Yep, that's it.
All right.
Once you bake the cake, let it cool down, let it be in the room temperature. So this, before we are doing tres leches cake assembly, it has to be in the room temperature.
Yeah,
and then
it cannot be warm or it cannot be hot. So just make sure it's completely cooled down in the room temperature. Okay.
All right. For the milk, because it's known as a tres leches cake, that means it has 3 milk. So we have one is evaporated milk, that is 12 ounces of evaporated milk.
Okay.
We also have half and half. It's almost 1.5 cup to 2 cup, half and half.
Okay.
Also, if you have the bigger pan, or bigger cake, in that cases you need to probably reduce half and half quantity a little bit more to cover the whole area.
Okay.
We have our condensed milk here.
Okay.
So before we start, we'll go ahead and start poking this cake.
So this is just a regular vanilla sponge cake.
Yes, this is just vanilla, regular vanilla sponge.
Fancy. Okay.
Nope. And also, since it's a Mexican cake, if you are using, or it's a very popular Mexican cake, when you are making a cake, if you can add Mexican vanilla extract or Mexican vanilla, that would be great. It will give you that extra. Yeah, it will give you that extra aroma, extra smell.
So we're just poking holes in there using your knife so that it absorbs all these 3 different milks that she's going to put in there.
Yes, exactly.
It's actually a very rich cake because I had it before, and it's very rich and heavy and very satisfying, I have to say.
And you know what? I feel like with our Indian culture, we have so many desserts around milk. So I think with our Indian culture, this is very perfect.
It's a hit in our crowd, definitely, for sure. Yes, because I've seen many people just enjoying it.
Exactly.
You know, with heart.
Yep.
So we just finished poking holes in this. All right. So what would be the next step?
So we are taking all our 3 milks.
Oh, all of them together?
Yes. And we are, because each milk has different consistency, different amount of fat. So what we want to do is, we want to mix them really, really well before we are pouring that. So it's
all blended and
it's blended, well blended.
Okay. Alrighty.
And 1 second, I will be using my brush, pastry brush, and clean it up.
So it's just 1 container of condensed milk, 1 container of evaporated milk, and almost a cup of half and half.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of different recipe has different variations as far as the half and half. Some recipe calls for half and half, and some recipe calls just normal full fat milk.
The whole milk.
Whole milk.
Okay.
So depending on what is your preference, you can
try both variations as well, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
So just
blend it all well.
Mix well. All 3 milks are totally mixed well.
Okay.
So as you see, all 3 milks are totally mixed together, mixed really well.
Okay.
And now gradually we are going to pour this milk on the cake.
Over the cake. Okay.
Yes. Take your time. Do not go ahead and just pour all at the one time. Yes.
Okay.
You need to give time for this cake to soak all the milk, and it should be all different places.
All the area of the cake is completely covered in the milk. Okay.
Yes. So if you need to drag your cake a little bit, help your cake out. So as you see, we are trying our sponge to soak all the milk.
Okay.
And
so
can this almost gradually going.
So how far ahead do you have to make this before you serve?
Normally you can make day before, night before, and you can get ready, you can pop in the refrigerator.
Okay.
But yes, cover this and it will be nice next day, definitely.
Next day,
Yep.
a day ahead is the perfect
Day ahead
time
is
to play.
perfectly fine, perfectly fine.
Okay.
And plus, so for soaking all this milk, I mean, this is way more amount of milk.
Right.
So soaking all this, the cake needs time.
To absorb all
yes.
it. Yeah.
So leaving there for overnight will be great idea.
Okay.
So while our cake is absorbing all this milk, we have little bit milk left, as you see here. So there are a lot of ways doing it. A lot of time you can just make a good paste once your cake is totally finished, done. When you are serving, you can use some of this milk as pour over on the cake and garnish with.
Idea,
so if you have just little bit milk, you can definitely left that little bit milk just to garnish over your cake for final touch. Now while our cake is soaking all the milk, almost it's there.
Yeah, it's
5 more minutes and yes,
yeah,
most of it's
really
gone.
Surprised it's that quick. Yeah.
Yes. So while it's finally getting all these things, meanwhile we will be getting ready our topping or the final touch for this cake.
Oh, okay.
To create the final touch for this cake, we have heavy whipping cream here. We have our vanilla extract and we have powdered sugar here. It's not the regular granulated sugar, it's a powdered sugar. Yes.
Okay. Powdered sugar. Okay.
And we have almost 2 cups of heavy whipping cream.
Okay.
So to start with,
okay, we have the whisk attachment going on the stand mixer here, so we could whip it all up. In goes the powdered sugar.
okay. Plus, in the other recipe, in the comparison of other recipe, we are using here, in other recipes we have seen when we were making our whipped cream, we were using 1 cup of whipped cream and we were using almost 3 or 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Versus in this recipe, we are using 2 cup of whipping cream, but we are using only 4 to 5 tablespoons of sugar, powdered sugar.
Why is
the reason is in this 3 milk, we have 1 milk is condensed milk. It's
already sweet.
Sweet.
Okay.
Your cake has already sugar, so you already have all those sugar going on right here.
Don't want overpower it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't want to make it over sweet. Like that's why. In case if you want to use less sugar in your whipping cream when you are whipping it, that's perfectly fine.
Fine too. Okay. So remember to get the sweet condensed milk then.
Yes.
Because I know that there is
unsweetened condensed milk as well. Yes.
Okay. Alrighty.
So
slow.
we'll start with the slow. Just few more minutes.
Okay.
And it will be totally.
So is there a reason to flip it at all, or is we can leave it as is?
One thing we have noticed it when you are flipping over, the back side always absorbs things much better.
Okay.
So in case if you are pouring any syrup, or if in case if you are just pouring like sugar syrup to make your cake soft, or in this case are the 3 milks, the back side always we have noticed absorb things much faster.
So when you transfer it from the baking pan to this pan to work with, so make sure you flip it so the back side is where you are actually pouring the milk. Okay.
Exactly.
That's a good tip. We are working on tres leches cakes. We're almost there. So we started the tres leches cake with 3 kinds of milks, and then we got the whipped cream going on. So what's the next step?
So now we are gonna finish our look. We have whipped cream.
Okay.
It is almost 2 cups of whipped cream. In case if your cake is bigger and if you are using for a bigger portion, feel free to make more whipped cream topping because you need to cover more area.
Look at that.
So
looks delicious.
Yes. Here we have from in the previous recipes we have used soft pick. Here we have firm pick. So that's there.
Do we need to incorporate the essence?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's there. We are going to add a little bit of vanilla. Folding vanilla.
Okay. So just fold it in.
We are just folding it
Gently. Okay.
and now we will try to cover our cake.
So holding it up.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you are putting on your cake, try to cover different areas so it is much easier to spread it
Okay.
instead of putting it at one place.
Okay.
Now we'll take our handy dandy spatula and try to spread that.
It's definitely a crowd pleaser for sure because it's so,
It is.
you know, you can easily relate to it because of our rich Indian milk desserts.
Definitely.
Okay.
The other thing when you are spreading it, suppose right now I'm spreading it, my outside rim of my pan is coming on my way while I am doing it. You can also use bench scraper to spread it evenly. This is the bench scraper. Normally when you are kneading any dough, making bread, pizza dough or anything, you normally use it. But this can be also used while we are spreading this. And it will help you to spread very evenly.
A nice tool to have if you bake a
Yes,
lot.
it's a very inexpensive tool, but anytime you are decorating something or you're trying to spread things evenly, you can certainly use this.
It's what called again? Bench scraper?
Yes,
Is that what you said?
yes,
Okay.
it's called bench scraper. It's a very, very inexpensive tool. You can get at any store,
I
grocery.
can see myself using it to pick up vegetables from the counter as well.
Yes, 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 yes. It's
Probably
a
what
very
it is. It's
versatile
bench
actually.
scraper, yes.
Yes, it's actually
Not
very,
just for baking, but an everyday use as well.
very versatile tool.
Okay. So we don't want to cover the sides, just on the top?
Right now we are just trying to cover on the top because the thing is we are planning to serve in a pieces, and
Okay.
I will be showing you how to serve in the pieces. So right now we are just trying to cover the top part.
Okay. So viewers, we're going to do another episode just to tell them, just to teach them how to do a basic cake baking.
Yes.
Yes. So don't just get disappointed that we already had a cake available and then using milk on top of it to finish the tres leches. But Palak is going to do another episode dedicated just to bake cakes. So
Just basic baking, how to do basic baking, how to do basic cake stuff. Very, very basic recipe, but very, very useful recipe that you can probably use on a lot of different variation with a lot of different fillings, toppings, everything.
Yeah.
So very soon we'll be having that.
Yes.
So after it's reached, totally we have covered the cake. Now the next step we are going to do is we will be dusting with the cocoa powder the whole surface of this cake.
Okay.
After having our whipped cream surface, now we are going with dusting of cocoa powders. You can,
So this is unsweetened, sweetened?
this is
or
unsweetened cocoa
unsweetened
powder.
Cocoa powder. Okay.
And there are so many different options of cocoa powder. This is totally optional. This is not necessary. This is just to create different color, different flavor in this thing.
More presentable as well.
More presentable as well. So what we are going to do is we are going to dust our surface a little bit.
Okay. To create that ambience and look and make it more
Yes.
presentable. Okay. So once you did pour the milk and the whipped cream and the cocoa powder, do you need to refrigerate it at all?
If you refrigerate it is for at least 2 hours, that would be great. That is actually recommended.
More preferable.
More
way.
preferable because then your milk and everything is well set and it is much easier. You can use fresh cherry or you can use fresh strawberry.
So what goes
whatever.
better with it? Cherries, strawberries, anything other than that, or
So basically your taste is sweet. So anything which is acidic, which will balance, or tangy you can say, will be balancing out the taste much better.
Okay.
So since it's a sweeter side, anything with the acid or anything with the little bit of tanginess will be the best thing
okay,
over
maybe
here.
a better combination.
Right.
Okay.
So in the previous part we did save our tres leches milk.
Right.
Right? So what we are gonna do is we are gonna pour that milk on top of that to finish this cake look. To finish this look, we have this remainder of tres leches milk. So we are going to, yes, you can pour it or you can pour it in the side. And bon appetit!
Dramatic.
Here we go. Try it out.
I'm gonna try a little bit. Absolutely amazing. I'm very surprised how quick all the 3 milks were absorbed into the
Exactly.
cake, and it's juicy, it's yummy, it's fantastic, and the sweetness is perfect. As you mentioned, I think since you cut down on the amount of
Sugar.
sugar you put in the whipped cream, it helped out a lot. It didn't overpower it, over-sweetened. So it's perfect combination. So thank you so much, Palak, for sharing this wonderful recipe. And
It's
how
a
to
very
assemble
quick,
it.
very easy,
Yes.
and the best thing is once you assemble everything, put in the refrigerator for at least 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
Preferable if you have done it night before, that would be great. If not, then at least let it sit down in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 hours. So when you are cutting pieces, the piece is coming up very clean and clear piece. So the borders and everything will come up with very clean cut because all the milk is observed and set in the cake itself.
Much more presentable.
Yes.
All right. So I'm sure this is going to be another crowd winner as well. So thank you so much for sharing this. And we're going to show the second recipe of the day today. It's going to be pineapple casserole. It's an easy one-pot dish, as Palak says.
So very simple.
Okay, very simple and easy to make. So we have all the ingredients laid out here. So do you want to start with explaining the ingredients?
So we have 20 ounce of tidbit pineapple.
Okay.
Just drain the pineapple and save 3 tablespoons of juice.
Okay.
So we want pineapple with the juice one, we don't want pineapple with the other stuff.
Okay.
So this is pineapple, canned pineapple with the juice, 3 tablespoon juice we are saving. Then we have sharp cheddar cheese, which is 1 cup. In case if you like cheddar cheese which is not sharp or any other kind of cheddar cheese, it's your choice, you can certainly do that.
Only cheddar, or do you prefer any other kind?
Only cheddar with this recipe,
okay.
yes.
But it could be different kinds of cheddar, but cheddar is what's preferred, okay?
We have 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour here.
Okay.
This flour will be helping us to bind or combine everything in the recipe.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have here half cup of sugar.
Just
regular sugar, granulated sugar.
Not powdered, just regular sugar.
Yep.
Okay.
So go ahead and add pineapple in it.
So you're going to put me to work?
Yes.
I like that. Okay. So
It's
there's a little
super
bit juice
simple
left. Is that
recipe.
okay?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very simple recipe. It can be side dish with your any other cuisine going on.
Okay.
So all
flour
goes in. And now just mix it up. Yes.
Just like that.
Yes.
So there is a cheese combination in a dessert.
Yes.
So what kind of dessert is this?
It's a pineapple casserole. It's a sweet. Yes, it's more of savory kind of.
Okay.
So you have sweetness and you have a little bit of tanginess going on with the pineapple.
I've never tasted anything with pineapple and cheese before. I mean, other than the pizza.
You know, this was one of the first recipe I have ever bake in my life.
Okay.
And this one was my first disaster I have ever done making or baking.
I like how you put it, first disaster.
I remember eating in India that pineapple baked dish, and I was always loved that thing. So I wanted to replicate something or making something similar to that. Okay. Of course, cheese over here is very different than what you get in India.
Right.
But still I was trying, and I remember in the Indian that thing they used to add ketchup and all those kind of things. So here I have modified version, and it is very good version.
Okay.
So now we have half cup of Ritz cracker. So I just took the cracker and crumbled it. You can just crumble it with hand, put in the Ziploc bag, and you can do that. Or
put your rolling pin to use.
Yes,
just roll
put in
on
the
it,
and done. Or even if you are putting in your Ritz packet itself, just press it up and you are good to go.
Okay. So this is just plain Ritz, right? Not,
yes.
No salt, not less fat, nothing. Just plain Ritz.
Just normal Ritz cracker.
All right.
So what we are gonna do is we are gonna add this Ritz cracker in this butter.
Okay.
And we are going to create our crumbs.
Okay, I see what
so
you're
this
doing.
crumb goes on top of cake, and it is creating that casserole final finish look.
Okay. So this goes on the top, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
On the top of the casserole.
Okay.
And Ritz crackers are a little bit salty side, so your casserole is getting that salty taste because of that.
Okay. So what would be the next step?
So here is our baking tray. We'll go ahead and add everything in.
I'm curious, so the flour, like, is it going to be all cooked through? Or?
Yes, because what we are going to do is, so we are just putting it in one lid.
Okay, just spread it out even.
Yes.
Okay.
Once that's done, here is our Ritz cracker, and it is with the melted butter.
Okay.
It is 4 tablespoons of melted butter.
And just spread it on top. Okay.
Yes, spread it on top evenly.
I like the buttery smell.
Yes.
It's really coming through.
Oh, wow.
For the chef. This is how it's going to look before it's actually cooked through.
So what we are going to do is we are going to take this and pop in the oven 350 degree Fahrenheit for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay.
Yes. So recipe says 30 minutes. Keep your eyes on it. On top, the color will be a little bit changing, and color will be going towards more of golden color.
Okay.
Than what we have right now.
Okay. So the clue is the golden color. Just keep an eye
Light
on
golden
it.
color. Yes.
28
Very light.
to 30 minutes and
30 minutes is typical.
Okay.
But see how your oven is working. Sometimes oven to oven, it can vary on the timing part.
Okay. And we are working on pineapple casserole earlier, and we popped it in the oven for about 30 minutes, and it's nice and hot and toasty. So I'll let Palak show you how it looks, and we're gonna taste it.
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, the crumbs, once you put into the oven, the crumbs will change color. So you see the bottom.
It's nice golden brown.
So it is now nice golden brown color. The edges is more browner color. So you know your casserole is ready.
Okay.
Yeah. It's super simple, super easy.
One pot dish. I don't know if you have noticed it. It's just one pot dish, right? No mixer, nothing like that.
Going on.
Oh, look at that nice color and texture. Should I dig in?
Go ahead.
It's very different from the cakes and cheesecake and tiramisu that you did earlier.
Yes.
As you mentioned, it's a sweet and savory mix.
Yep.
And I'm loving it. I haven't tried anything like this before, as I mentioned, other than pineapple pizza. It's absolutely different and yummy as well.
It's a very simple to make, and it is a side dish. So suppose if you're doing, hey, I'm making Italian supper for my friends, a family coming over, or get together or anything. This is one side dish, and it is sweet and savory, so it can go both way for you.
So question for you. So if they want to pair it with, I don't know, maybe pudding, or is there anything that they could pair it with if they want to? Like a whipped cream? Or
The way the consistency it looks like, say right now, you can probably go ahead and do it with some kind of ice cream, vanilla ice cream. So you can do
That's
that.
what I wanted to ask.
Yes.
So while it's nice and warm.
Yes, you can always do that. And if you want to make it more juicier, we put only 3 tablespoons of pineapple juice, if you remember.
Right.
So instead of that, if you want to make it more juicier, go ahead and add 1 extra tablespoon. So it will create that additional juice in it and additional liquid in it. And it is more like consistency of cobbler. So
I
peach
can
cobbler.
definitely see
Yes.
myself eating this with a nice vanilla
Ice cream.
Yes, vanilla bean ice cream. And I'm sure
Definitely.
it'll be a huge hit with the crowd.
It's a very simple but
Yes.
very, very tasty.
And the dough is all well cooked, and it's you
Everything.
don't even feel like there is a dough in it. You know?
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
really nice. Thank you so much for sharing this wonderful recipe with us. So let's wrap it up for today, and
Sure.
we have more exciting episodes coming. So stay tuned with us, and that's a wrap for today. But before we go, do we want to ask viewers a question?
Definitely, let's go ahead.
Do you want to try this time?
Sure. So the question for my viewers is, what cheese did we use today?
In pineapple casserole, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the question again is, what cheese did we use, or what cheese do we recommend you to use in the pineapple casserole? So send us your answers to the email address on the screen, and we have more exciting and yummy episodes coming your way.
Sure.
So stay tuned, keep watching, and keep enjoying our show, Let's Bake with Palak. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Enjoy.
What are you waiting for? Please write your right answer to palak@manatv.net. Who knows, you can be our winner to share your favorite recipe with everyone.